Be stellar. Oh, oops, went live. I just said that. Oh, hello. Hi. Anyone who's watching this, hi, you're watching a game that was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet. Someone's in a giddy mood today. I'm so sorry. Yeah, the Gauntlet, which is a community on the internet that gets together and plays cool tabletop role-playing games through the fantastic medium that is the internet. Imagine that. You don't have to text like five different people to like, I, whose house is free this time, or who's bringing the pizza this time. Oh no, no, actually, and then 2 hours before you're meant to meet, oh no, I can't go. I have to go to the library for some reason. Yeah, so you just play that here. Yes, I'm a bit discombobulated. You can find the Gauntlet at gauntlet-rpg.com. They do lots of cool stuff. Like they got a very busy blog. They've got a nice podcast network. They have a monthly zine. The newest issue is probably going to be out by next week. Codex Glamour 2. Subscribe to their Patreon for that. And of course, there's a Hangouts calendar through which this game was arranged. This is part 4 of what I thought was a 12-parter. Is now actually a 13-parter. Thanks, July on Tuesdays. 13-parter of Masks: A New Generation by Brendan Conway. It's a game about teenage superheroes and trying to figure out who they are through the soap opera ludicrousness that is comic books, superhero comic books to be exact. We're using the Suits playset, which is a fight against a shadowy conspiracy, against insurmountable odds, against adults just telling you, you don't know what's happening in the world. We do. And it's up to our players here to prove them wrong. Speaking of players, let's kind of meet them for now and start. And maybe I should have a drink and be less discombobulated and giddy. I'm just giddy. I like this game. I like these people. It feels like it's been years, even though it's only been a week. Yeah, let's go with the order of the character keeper. Let's introduce yourself and your character and where have they been last week or where they have not been last week. Who knows what's happened to them? Let's start with our soldier there.
Hello, I'm Alan, and I'm playing the Soldier playbook. The Soldier is an agent of an organization like Aegis. Mine is a Brit on an exchange with Aegis. He's call sign SULIT, which he was given by his American friends, which is stuck up, limey, and trouble. His real name is Jamie Blonde. And last week, he was off doing a secret mission that not even I know about because I wasn't able to be here. But I'm looking forward to getting back into the fray.
Get back into the fray. Hopefully, find some sniff up some conspiracies. Who knows? Robert, tell us about our long-suffering brain and shenanigans. What he got up to last week.
Hi, I'm Rob. I use he/him pronouns, and I'm playing Kevin Ryback, who usually goes by the call sign of Loki. He's a teen genius who accidentally created a AI, almost took over the world. Last week, he was being a little bit paranoid and attacked an Aegis agent who just got right back up and arrested him.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens next.
We'll see about that. And Sabine, tell us about our weapon.
Hello, I'm Sabine. I use any pronoun. I am playing the Serenade of Thorns, who is the weapon. They were raised in a weird cult, the Dreaming Heavenly Choir, and they recently joined Aegis because they offered some sort of place apart from the Dreaming Heavenly Choir. Well, last time we actually confronted the Aria of Blades, who is a member of the cult, and we fought them. Well, Serenade fought them pretty well, might have won, but then the Aria used the kill code that was embedded in the Serenade's brain, and the Serenade went a bit violent and attacked another team member, got pushed back, and took a lot of conditions, and that's where they are now. And I think at the end of the session, Serenade and Varga confronted Agent Sunday, who's the one who arrested Loki. And Agent Sunday was just standing there ominously staring at us and saying, "We need to talk."
Yeah, we'll get to that talk soon. Oh, I do want to give a shout out to the creator of the weapon playbook, because if anyone's watching this and thinking, wait, the weapon? That's not in any like official Masks release. Well, it's not. It's a homebrewed playbook made by Kayla Bashe, aka Ennis Rook Bash. I'll put a link in the description anyway if you want to check that out. It's a cool playbook. Basically, like if you've grew up with X-Men Evolution like me, it's basically X-23 the playbook. That's what it is. So yeah, before we jump into what happened to Agent SULIT and whatnot, remind folks again of the safety tools we're using. It's always good to have this conversation because we want to make sure we're playing, in a comfortable environment. First off, I'll remind folks again of our lines and veils. Lines are things that won't be crossed, won't show up in the fiction at all. It's just like, it's a no-go. Veils are things that can happen in fiction, but we're not going to concentrate on them they can happen in fiction, but we're not going to concentrate the camera on them. We're not going to focus on them, so to speak. We'll throw a veil over it, as the parlance goes. And also we have the X card, which basically, if we ever roll into any scene that makes people uncomfortable for any reason, and any reason's fine, you can say you want to use the X card, you want to X card that. You can make the symbol on the screen or on the chat, or press the button on the roll for your party. And I may ask some questions on what's being X carded, but no one gets to question if the card is played. If it's played, it happens. We're going to roll back and start over and try a different tack on the scene we were doing. And finally, we have an open door policy on this table, which basically means that if, whatever reason, people need to step away from the table because there's an emergency, you're more tired than you thought, you really need to pee. And for people who played with me the weekend or recently, they'll know that this time I did not manage to drink half my water before we started. So there's no chance of me calling an early break. But if that ever was to happen, you can call the break at any time. And we'll pause the game and, we'll let you off your merry way. And then, we'll accommodate that. Okay. So a lot of stuff did happen last week. Oh, God, there's a lot of stuff. For those who can't see the character keeper, Serenade is a 4 out of 5 under conditions. It's like, there was an amazing combo of like getting hit with a powerful blow, taking 2 conditions to muster through the pain, and being knocked out of their kill code state, which means having to take another condition, which was amazing. But let's start with Agent SULIT. I think we kind of flash back to when you first came to the scene of the crime, so to speak, with Mrs. Smith, and you probably messaged the group that, oh dear, their landlady's been kidnapped by the Dreaming Heaven Choir. And on that scene, I think the first person to get there is actually Agent Sunday. As in, as soon as when you kind of come near the door, she kind of just showed up and said, and basically we're not gonna play out the scene, but basically she saw that and kind of confirmed that you have a personal connection to Mrs. Smith, or to Agent McCreary, but basically because you're there and you're qualified, you've been trained for this, and you're up for it. She basically enlists you to be part of trying to track her down, and she explains to you that, I think her words are basically that Agent Hyde has extended this invitation for you and your friends to work at Howl Division. Now, he may be quite congenial to most people, but I tend to be more critical. We don't just let anyone into Howl. And this mission seems to me a opportunity for you to show exactly how well you fit into the Aegis structure. So, and basically she explains that in times of attack, there's a protocol for Aegis agents to follow, and she tells you that she's already found there was already a distress signal from one of the Aegis safe houses, and basically you are basically being kind of introduced into Aegis protocol which is basically, hey, this is how we do stuff. This is how we do things. Just listen and learn, kid. Is basically how she's treating you, and she leads you to like a house, not the same house that last week, but like a kind of different house, and kind of like, okay, it kind of shows you like this underground basement complex, which is like kind of like what Aegis agents use as a safe place. But she says like, in times of breach, there could be a possible breach, and so the senior agent takes the lead. Stay here at the entrance while I scout out the scene, and you're there waiting for like what feels like an eternity, because you don't know what will be happening there. And then from a distance, you hear the sound of what sounds like a weapon being discharged. It's not like a gun or anything, but sounds like some sort of laser beam or some sort of stun ray is discharged. And I think, I mean, you're a smart agent. You can probably tell where that came from. So you follow kind of like these tunnels, and you're gonna pass by a few doors. Some of them are empty. Some of them are clearly cells. There is one. If you look through it, well, I don't know if you look through it, but I'll just say you look through it because, for drama's sake. You look through it, and there's Loki behind this cell.
Is there any sign of Sunday now?
No, there's no sign of Sunday now. If you keep walking, you're gonna end up like at another corridor, kind of like perpendicular to the one you're in. There's a heavy metal door to your left, and to your right is like a staircase leading up.
I think probably Jamie is thinking, because he's ambitious, and so Howl are the top of the tree at Aegis. So he's quite keen to stay on the right side of Howl, I think. I think he's suspicious of them, but I think he wants to be on the inside looking out rather than the outside looking in. So I think he will proceed to the staircase in search of Sunday.
Loki, you see Jamie, you see you. Or I don't know, what are you doing in this cell, actually?
Hey,
I shouldn't
Jamie!
presume.
Jamie! Bang. Bang, bang.
I really don't. I think I have to go with this supposed protocol at this point to at least find out what's going on.
Okay, Jamie's ignoring you.
Yeah, I probably do try to, avert my eyes as though I haven't really seen you.
What a good little soldier. Yeah. When you come up the staircase, you end up in the kitchen, and you see that it's a small house, and from the kitchen you can see the living room, and the living room's a mess. The front walls have been torn apart, and you see that there's already like a full Aegis security detail cleaning up the place. I think
Is Sunday in that room?
Yes, she's talking quietly to Serenade. Now, just to frame this from Serenade's point of view, Sunday saw the two of you, you and Melkor, and when she said we need to talk, that's when the Aegis security team came in. They bundled Melkor away, and Sunday basically said he's past his curfew, he's past his bedtime, he needs to be back to his family. So Melkor's kind of been bundled away, probably protesting as he's been dragged off. But you, Serenade, Sunday comes up to you and says, "But you, Serenade, we have to deal with you."
What would that entail?
Well, I hate to break it to you, Serenade, but at the moment, you've been connected to some unruly elements within our organization, namely your friend, Agent Ryback, otherwise known as Kevin, otherwise known as callsign Loki. I've been suspicious of his headstrong ways for a while. And tonight he just proved it with this little escapade.
How was Kevin connected to this little escapade?
Well, he shot me, for one thing.
That seems to be an overreaction.
Quite. I chalk it up to childish delusions, but this has gone for quite some time, and we will need to reassess whether he should be connected to the likes of you.
Okay.
And I think she looks around at the scene, and I think the agents are cleaning up. They're taking away the ninjas. They drag up poor Arya, who looks really downcast because you beat the shit out of her.
But at the point where Sunday says, well, he shot me, I'm going to melt back down those stairs and go see Kevin. Because as I remember, Kevin isn't always thrilled by the way Aegis handles things, but I've come to value their critiques, even if I don't agree with them. So I think it's time for a little bit of critique here. I want to go and find out what on earth's gone on.
Can I ask just one question? You can go and then have your scene, but how many people are there with Agent Sunday?
Let's see. It's a full Aegis cleanup team. So it's forensics, people with guns, people with suits with lots of earpieces. It's a lot of people. It's like maybe 10-ish people. They're cleaning up the scene. This is now a crime scene.
I can't take them all of them. I can take all of them. Right?
Okay. You are 2 conditions away from getting knocked out of this scene.
True. This is true. But I'm really angry. I'm thinking.
Well, not only are you angry, you are angry and afraid and guilty and insecure.
But just by the by, as I remember, hurting someone or break something important would clear angry.
Yes.
While take foolhardy action without talking to your team would clear insecure. Just saying.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking about, actually.
Okay, all right, okay. So while you think about that, is there anything else you say to Agent Sunday?
Serenade is processing.
Yeah, and I think let's before I try to figure out what Agent Sunday is going to say, let's cut back to Jamie and Kevin.
So is this a key lock? Is this a standard key lock? Does it need to identify me as an agent? Will my swipe card work? How do I open the door?
How do you open the door?
Well, I'd like to do it without destroying it, but
okay. Let's see. Let me look at your. Not sure. I think if I'm looking at the basic moves, because I don't think it'll be that easy. Well, could it be that? No, it wouldn't be that easy. It would not be. I think it's some form of unleashing powers. When I say powers, do you mean your training?
Well, I suppose what I'm wondering. Well, there's 2 ways to come at this. I could try calling in to Aegis and asking for the code.
Okay.
Because I've got when you ask Aegis for additional resources, equipment, or information during a mission, roll plus soldier. The risk in that is that if it doesn't go well, then the lights could go off. But it just strikes me that would be something to try first before I try and scorch it off its hinges.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let's call in Aegis and see if you can get this code.
I'm assuming that, the way bureaucracies are, they're not omniscient. So if I call, the New York office, they may not know exactly what's gone on here yet. So roll plus 2.
Good.
That is 7. On 7 to 9. On a hit, they'll resupply you as best they can. On 10 plus. So they will give me that code.
Yeah. So I think Yeah, you'll get the code. I think because agents in the bureaucracy, because Agent Sunday has filed you in as like, oh, you're part of her mission, and she was the one who accessed this place. I think, yeah, the machinations of Aegis will say, yeah, you can totally get the code.
Okay. Now, does that count as making a sacrifice to absolve my guilt?
Tell me
Or is
what you're
that not a
doing.
big enough risk?
What are you trying to do? What are
Well,
you
I
doing?
suppose I'm springing a prisoner, which could well ruin my promotion prospects.
Well, play out the scene. You open the door then, and Loki, your door is opened by Jamie.
And I stand in the door because I may want to close it again.
Okay.
So, Kevin, what on earth has gone on, old chap?
I got a secure text from Mrs. Smith telling me her location, not to contact Aegis, and to come and get her as soon as possible, and delete after reading.
And have you seen Mrs. Smith since?
Not yet.
Do we know where she is?
No idea. But I found Agent Sunday down here, claimed that they had received a safe house transmission from Mrs. Smith, which doesn't make sense because if Mrs. Smith didn't want Aegis involved, she wouldn't have. She would have if she wanted Aegis involved, she would have contacted them, not contacted me and tell me not to call them.
Yeah, that's certainly suspicious, isn't it? Okay, we need to check all these cells, see if we can find Mrs. Smith.
Right.
And I think
one other thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what, but there's something not quite right about Agent Sunday.
What do you mean? I mean, she's pretty hot.
I shot her with a stun blast and she got right back up.
Right. She doesn't have any powers, does she?
Not as far as I know.
Okay, well, that's a second order question. First order question, is Mrs. Smith down here?
Yeah. Let's see if we can find her.
And I was going to say I'll assess the situation, but
I'll just give you where she is.
Oh, go ahead.
Because there's nothing else here that's interesting besides this being an Aegis safe complex. Yeah, that door to your left that was like heavy steel door. Yeah, that's kind of like that's the panic room / safe room that's connected to this house.
Then I think is there some kind of is presumably if it's a panic room, you can't open it from the outside.
I presume so. I'm not. Why do I say that? I've never been to a panic room, but it looks impenetrable. Is what it looks like.
Is there any kind of microphone? Can we speak to somebody inside?
Yeah, I think there's probably like in the wall. There's like a some sort of intercom system.
Okay, well, I think I probably have to. Kevin, do you know Mrs. Smith? At all? Personally?
We've met. We had we had a mutual acquaintance.
Yes, of course you did. Then I think the fiction requires me to convince her to let to come out.
Okay.
So I'll press the intercom on the outside and say, Mrs. Smith, it's Jamie. You sent a message to Kevin. Kevin's here with me now. Say something, Kevin.
Mrs. Smith, are you okay?
The two of you can hear breathing.
Look, we're a bit worried about you, and we're worried about you being here. Just come out with us, and we'll get you out.
The two of you can hear breathing.
Okay, we need to get this door open.
We do. Do you? I mean, I can try provoke. I take a hit because I got guilty, so I could try provoke to get her to do it. Come on, Mrs. Smith, don't be so bloody silly.
The two of you can hear breathing.
Then I'm going to roll to provoke her to do what I want. Oh, bum. So that would be 7, but because I'm guilty, I'm at -2, so that is not 7.
Yeah,
That is instead 5.
mark potential, and no, I want you to say all you hear is breathing.
Okay, I'm going to mark a condition.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm going to mark angry because I'm getting annoyed now. Robbie, Kevin, can you hack the door? Can you get in?
I'm gonna investigate the door and see if I can find a way to unlock it.
Mm-hmm.
What would that be as a?
That's an assess.
Yeah.
I think I'll just tell you now. You're smart. You know you can hack this. This is a security door, and I'm assuming Kevin is one of those omnidisciplinary scientists that has a lot of that knows a lot of stuff. So yeah, I think you can totally hack this. That door.
While he's hacking the door, I'll go to the bottom of the stairs to run interference if anybody tries to come down.
Okay. So let's cut away from there to Serenade. I think Agent Sunday has moved the conversation now to looking at this chaos and says, "Is this your handiwork?"
You know what? I'm not quite okay, actually. I'm afraid I have to ask more questions about why Kevin would shoot you. I trust him.
Well, that's a question that Kevin himself will have to answer.
Good. I will go and see him then. And I start walking towards where I think Kevin might be. I mean, where I probably can find him.
I think
somehow. Yeah. I'm just really not in a good mood right now.
Yeah, I think you're gonna run into Jamie. Coming up the stairs.
Well, also she lets me go very well.
Yeah, no. Well, she can still see you. Like the kitchen is in view of the living room, so she's gonna see you running and Jamie.
Well, hang on. No, Jamie's at the bottom of the stairs.
Ooh. Okay.
So run interference if anybody comes down the stairs. So when he sees Serenade look down the stairs, he'll go, turn around and go that way.
Serenade.
No, I think I'm not letting I am not letting any kind of agents tell me again what to do and where to go and how to find Kevin, who might be in danger. So I will proceed down the stairs and glare at Agent SULIT. Before
you do that, I think this is not going to be a verbal telling you what your place in the world is. I think Agent Sunday is accustomed to people following her orders and people who defy her having consequences heaped upon them. So yeah, she is. Yeah, basically when she says that, Serenade, remember who you're with, I think is what she says. And mechanically what she's doing is she's trying to bring down your danger and make you, and she wants you to think for yourself, think smart. So she's actually trying to bring up your superior. She's trying to bring your danger down. I'm assuming you're going to reject that.
Yes, I am. I'm totally going to reject it.
Okay.
I just roll with nothing, right?
With nothing. But you get a -2 because you're insecure.
Oh, great. Yeah, but I rolled a 10.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so on an 8, or is that okay. Yeah, you rolled 10, so that's an 8. Okay, so on an 7 to 9, you just choose one. Clear condition or mark potential by immediately acting to prove them wrong. Shift one label up, one label down, your choice, or cancel the influence and take +1 forward against them. So one of those 3.
Remind me, what did she say to me?
She basically just said, remember who you're with right now. I think she's telling you, not her, but like Aegis.
Yeah, well, I'm telling her I am not with the dreaming heavenly choir, and then I proceed down the stairs because I'm telling her. And I will want to clear a condition.
Please do.
And I clear insecure, obviously, because that's what I've just overcome.
You want to keep rejecting? I get you.
No, it just fits the narrative, I think.
Yeah. So you run into Jamie.
And behind me, I hope you'll see Kevin tinkering with a door.
Good.
And so please go back upstairs. We don't want Sunday to follow you.
You can hear the clacking of footsteps.
I will not be distracted. I tell Jamie, I can't say, I don't know if he's with Sunday or not. He's my handler, so he's one of them. To my mind. To my mind, he's one of them. He's wearing a suit, for heaven's sake.
Oh, jeez.
Then I will walk swiftly up the stairs, and I'll have to run my own interference on Sunday at the top of the stairs.
Okay, all right. So you
then I will approach Kevin, but we can make the scene later.
Okay, let's start with Jamie's interference, and then we'll cut to you and Kevin, and to Serenade and Kevin, and then we'll see if we can get through this door. Okay, so you run up the stairs, and you nearly bump into Agent Sunday. And
hi, Agent Sunday. I was just wondering where you got to. Everything's very secure down there, it seems. Why have you locked Kevin up?
Agent SULIT, I told you to stay put, didn't I?
Yeah, but initiative counts, or at least in the pursuivants it does.
What did your initiative tell you to do?
Well, just to come and check. You know, all hell was breaking loose, so I thought I'd better come and see what was what with the whatnot.
Well, I'll note your concern, Agent SULIT, but as you can see, everything's under control. And she kind of waves to like the crew picking up the ninjas.
Yes, but wouldn't normal procedure be for me to get some kind of debrief at this point?
Well, we're still in the midst of mopping up, and debrief will come, but you'll need to learn patience, Agent SULIT. There's no point in running in half-cocked into anything, especially when there's no situation to be had right now.
Well, that's why it seemed the perfect time, actually, to have a chat. Because obviously, look, I'm very keen not to mess up on the opportunity the Agent Hyde has offered, and so you know I want to be as up to speed as possible. I mean, is there some kind of interview process?
Roll to provoke.
Okay, so this is just +1 because of my guilty condition.
Yeah.
Oh, get in 10.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
On a 10, they rise to the bait and do what I want. So we embark on a debrief that preps me for a potential interview with Agent Hyde.
Yes.
In the kitchen. I'll make.
Okay. I think she's gonna do this with a weird curdled expression that's mixturing like exasperation and a bit of condescension, as if like, okay, here's a chance to at least get this kid under my thumb. Yeah.
And then I think cut back to me in a minute because there's something else I want to do.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Serenade. There's Kevin trying to work at this door.
And I walk up to Kevin and I say, Kevin, I've heard that you have shot Agent Sunday.
That's not untrue, but
I would require an explanation.
So, okay. I got the message that brought us here from Mrs. Smith. Agent Sunday claims that Mrs. Smith sent them a distress signal.
That is unlikely.
So I had a feeling that something was wrong, and shot Agent Sunday with a stun blast, and she got right back up. So,
is that unusual?
It should be.
Hmm. This is
Maybe I
is
need to
this
check
an
the power or
Aegis?
something.
Is this an Aegis safe house? I'm confused.
Well, that's what Agent Sunday claims, but
But
I believe Mrs. Smith is in the other side of this door, but she is not responding to me.
Hmm.
All I can hear is breathing.
Shall I endeavor to kick down the door?
How close am I to opening it, Leandro?
Give me a roll. This is unleash your powers on this. You can tell me that your gadgetry will help with this. We still have one more
Where's
gadget.
the roll for your party?
All the way to the right. Are preferably rich thrush. Yeah, we all prefer to be rich thrush. You're not special.
Zero. What's insecure? Cause a -2.
Hold on, where are we? Insecure is to defend or reject.
Okay. And I'm just waiting for a roll for your party. Okay. So that is a 5.
Wow. The door
Yeah.
opens. So the door opens, and you see that unlike your cell, it's it's a well-stocked safe house with a nice safe room with a nice bed. There's like shelves full of like goods and whatnot. There's actually like a computer array. Computer array. There's like a screen with like a projector and whatnot, and you can see sitting on the chair next to the communications array, which is like banks and buttons and a microphone. So sitting there is Mrs. Smith.
Okay, Mrs. Smith.
Nothing. No response.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to her.
Her eyes
Mrs.
are open. She's
Mrs.
breathing.
Smith. Put a hand on her shoulder.
No response.
Maybe we should take her with us and recover and go to some other locations that's not quite as inimical. Yes, you know what I mean. They're quite as hostile to our intentions.
Yeah. Okay. So, if I try to like get her to stand up, what does she?
Does she what?
Does she respond, or does she
Nope.
just? Okay. God. Can I like scan her or something to see what seems to be wrong with her?
Yeah, you can stand her. Yeah, her eyes are open. She's looking blankly in like into the distance. She's breathing, but no response. Oops, sorry.
This does not look good.
No.
Maybe.
Yeah, we need to get her out of here.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. How are you getting her out?
Carrying her, yeah.
Where are you gonna take her?
No.
What kind of exits? What kind of exits do we have? Do we have to go through the house, or is there another way to get out?
Well, there was the way that Jamie and Agent Sunday got through. Because I think Loki would remember this. He just found Agent Sunday there, so there must have been another way to get into this place.
Yeah. Yeah, there must be another exit. We just need to figure out how we're gonna take her all the way back to the hideout.
We can carry her.
Sure. All right. Well, let's go then.
Well, I'll take her and carry her.
Yeah, she doesn't resist.
Good.
And you got your big strong arms, so
well,
deceptively strong arms. Yeah, let's cut back to Jamie, who it's probably some sort of inane conversation in the comic book. It'll probably just say blah 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 in the text bubbles. But you said you wanted to do something.
Yeah, I think it's a bit risky, but I think I want to pierce the mask.
Okay.
Which is sadly mundane -2 because I'm angry. So I'm doing my best.
Pierce the mask. Afraid is what affects pierce the mask.
Oh. No.
Oh, does it? Oh, I might have mixed. Hold on.
Angry is pierce the mask.
I mixed up the two. Then that's my bad.
So this is a straightforward roll, I think, but I need to find out what's going on behind this woman's eyes. 9.
Hey.
Wow. Okay, pierce the mask on 7 to 9. Ask 1. What are you really planning?
Oh, that's such a big question. Oh.
Well, I expect a really big answer.
Oh, is that you in character? That was me out of character saying that's a big question. Oh man, you just unravel is all out. I think during the course of this conversation, I think you kind of implicitly ask her that by just asking her what are your aims? What
I imagine is I'm just looking at cues. Really, I'm trying to work out from her demeanor. Is she being straight? Is she behaving like an agent should behave? Is there? I'm not expecting her to monologue some kind of villain's plan necessarily, unless she really wants to. But I suppose what I'm trying to get a sense of is Agent Sunday on the level?
She's about as on the level as an Aegis agent can get. Now, what you need to question is what is an on the level Aegis agent is. But you don't get the sense that she's either has some sort of dastardly evil plan or something ulterior. She came in here to clean up something, to find an Aegis agent, and she's there to what you get is that she's there to further Howl Division's goals and objectives. And what you get the sense from her talking, because you're interviewing whatnot, is that Howl Division, their influence used to be quite small, but they've expanded in the decades since the 70s apparently, and they're incredibly important to Aegis because they look after extra dimensional threats. And
yeah, and you see because I suppose what's in my mind at the minute is that these extra dimensional threats are taking them over, and so I'm being to think about conspiracy inside conspiracy. So Howl Division is a secret conspiracy of sorts inside Aegis, and inside Howl, the poachers have turned gamekeepers. Which is probably overthinking this at this point, but that's right.
Yeah, that's a bit, yeah. But in terms of what she's planning right now, she was planning on taking care of Mrs. Smith.
Taking care of Mrs. Smith. Okay. Well, then, I'm in a difficult position now because I have bought as much time as I can. So I think it's for you to tell us whether that's enough time for them to have cleared the building.
It's a 10 plus, so I'd say yes. You got a 10 plus in that provoke. So I'd say you probably gave them enough time. What you're gonna have to deal with are the fallout of having let Loki free.
Well, no, people will discover is Serenade must have let Loki free and they both got away with Mrs. Smith.
You asked Aegis for the code.
Oh,
That's in the
true.
bureaucracy.
There will be a record, won't there?
Yeah, of course there will be. Of course there will be. So we'll deal with that after we take our break, because we have reached the hour. Well, I think I don't want to have to dish out a bunch of roles. I think we're kind of wrapping up this kind of entire scene. I think we'll have one last conversation with Jamie and Agent Sunday, but since we're on the hour, let's take 10 and then we'll cut to where the two of you are going to take Mrs. Smith and this conversation, ending this conversation with Sunday. Cool. 10 minutes. Cool. BRB. I asked Ludo if he was bringing back Regicide next week, and sadly, no.
Aw.
Not even the parallel universe regicide.
Well, he just said he's probably a new character. It's a shame. I had a cliffhanger ideal plan for Regicide, but oh well. Interested to see who he brings. I need to ask David as well if he's bringing his character, which I don't think any of you has met Spectre. No. Oh no! Loki has met Spectre. Oh, fucking hell! Of course he has. I don't think you were privy to what he found out about his mom. I think that's strictly with Kai / Spectre. Okay, since you weren't there, Alan, what we found out is that David's character, Spectre or Kai, his mom is the Spider.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Which playbook?
Well, he didn't know. He didn't know until we found out at the end of the
Right.
session. So it was just the beacon, but he didn't know. So.
Well, that just goes to show that upbringing doesn't count.
Yeah, it takes. Oh, he did tell me that he was thinking of doing the Scion first when he joined up way back in December. Jesus, that's a long time ago. Okay, so since everyone's back, so yeah, Loki, Serenade, where do you take Mrs. Smith?
Well, I want to take her back to the hideout, my sanctuary, for reasons.
I have no better suggestion.
Yeah, I think yeah, you can wait. No, it's not getting to the minutia of how you get her there. I'm gonna assume. Let's just cut and get there.
We came with some sort of vehicle, I assume.
You know what? Since we didn't clarify how you even got to this place to the house, let's not clarify how you get away. Yeah. I think again because Jamie did a good job rolling, you totally can. You can take her there. All throughout the trip, even when you get there, just no response.
All right. So what I want to do is because one of the things I can do with the sanctuary is I can use it to where's the exact wording? Yeah. So when I call upon the resources of my sanctuary to solve a problem, I say what I want to do, and the GM will tell me basically what conditions that come with that. So yeah, I want to basically. I'm going to use my tech in the sanctuary to scan Mrs. Smith and try and find out what's wrong with her and find some way to help her come out of this trance or whatever she seems to be in.
Okay. Let me actually. I need to consult the text of the supplement and the conspiracy wall to see if how difficult this is going to be. Let's see. First, well, you must have the subject. That's done. You have Mrs. Smith. Let's see. Let me think about that, and let's cut back to Jamie. And I think Mrs. Sunday finishes her tea. I assume you made her tea, or just coffee. I don't know.
No, I think tea would be appropriate, actually.
Yes. And she's gonna smile a bit sweetly at you and just says, "As much as I enjoy the passion of a youth looking to move their way up in the world, I must confess, Agent SULIT, I'd like to know exactly what you hope to accomplish here tonight."
Well, the honest answer, Agent Sunday, is that I'm hoping to get into Howl Division.
Well, I'm not going to deny that you certainly have the ambition, but we at Howl pride ourselves at making sure that we don't just bring in anyone into our ranks. For myself, all I did was do my job as an agent of this group, of this agency. I just put my head down and did the best damn job I could. I wasn't seeking glory. I wasn't seeking perks. I just did what needed to be done. And for that, Marcus, Agent Hyde to you, saw something in me, something I didn't know that I had this whole time. And he rewarded that dutifulness, that work ethic. I don't know if ambition is what he's looking for, but for you, Agent Sulit, I'd say, given all your talents, all what you're blessed of right now, you're blessed with youth and experience that belies that youth. My advice to you, Agent Sulit, is simply keep doing the work. To know who you work for and who you do, and for whom you do this work for. Just never forget, we are here to safeguard this world. We are here to make sure that people wake up and in the morning, go by your day, and then go back home and go to sleep without having to worry about anything else. That's what we do in Howl. That's what we do in Aegis. So just keep at it, Agent Sulit.
Well, I'd say, Agent Sunday, that's really quite an inspiring speech. Thanks awfully.
I think, yeah, she stands up and shakes her hand and says, "Now, back to the matter at hand that we were here for. Now you come follow me," and she's gonna take you down to the underground safe place. Want to find the doors open?
And I can say, both doors are open. What on earth?
I think she doesn't say anything. That she just strides into the safe room. She pulls out her phone, her smartphone, and then does this, like, she clicks this thing, and like this like screen kind of pops out, and yeah, you can probably hear that she's scanning the room. I think she kind of calls behind your shoulder to make sure to check the cell and see if there's anything to be gleaned from there.
Yes, I shall go and investigate Loki's cell.
You want to roll an assess? No, I'm kidding. Okay, so while you're there, roll me a defy danger. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, I was playing Dungeon World last night. All right, so Loki, you want to figure out what the hell happened to Mrs. Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, first, you must... I think from the preliminary scans, what you get is that some sort of frequency got into her head. So first you must have the subject. You have that. You'll need help from a device or a program that attunes well to sound, to frequencies or whatnot. Not saying there's anything nearby. I don't know. You probably have to go to some sort of Radio Shack to find something like that. I don't know. you and your team will risk danger from whatever frequency that got into her head. There's a danger that there's still a trace of it. And that's the thing with frequencies. It comes from one place. If you connect from one end, you know what the other end is going to be. Okay, that's probably not how frequencies work, but in just bear with me. Superhero logic. And I think the best you can do is a lesser version, unreliable, limited. I'm going to say is, yeah, you won't have much time, but you can totally connect to this frequency that got into her head quite recently. If you have something that can connect to frequencies. I don't know, anything like that. I don't know.
Well, I have useful tools, and if I'm at the workshop, I can probably refill my gadgets thing. Restock my gadget supply, so I'm willing to spend one of my gadget slots to say that I have the thing.
Mm-hmm. Well,
if you would allow that.
Yeah. So while you're doing this, what's Serenade doing? Kind of because I saw you unmuted there.
Yeah, I'm prowling around, wondering what's going on, letting him do his thing. Maybe look at that Pac-Man thing again.
Oh.
But then I'll turn around and I'll say to him, do you have any idea what the Dreaming Heavenly Choir was doing there? Do they have a connection to Aegis? I mean, they cannot, can they?
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why they were there either. So I think I've figured out somewhat what's going on here. There's some sort of signal has got inside Mrs. Smith's head. I can put together a jamming device to try and disrupt the signal, but I'm gonna have to tap into it and maybe alert whatever's on the other end.
Well, is it some kind of sound-like thing? Because if it was the Dreaming Heavenly Choir, they may have stuck her with a bit of the hymn.
That could be it.
Maybe I can help. The Serenade implant is kind of tuned into the hymn.
Yeah, that could work. Let me just put together. Okay, and I'm fiddling with circuitry and stuff, trying to put together something. Yeah. Okay. So what do you think? How does the Serenade work? And how would it?
The Serenade implant is kind of a bit of music, really, in my head. It helps me move, but it also there is always this tune. Like in this room, there are a lot of electrical frequencies running around, and I can sense them. That's why I was so good with that machine over there. And I'm pointing to the Pac-Man arcade game.
Oh, okay. So, okay, it sounds like we could use the Serenade to try and tap into the signal, but that's putting you specifically at great risk.
Well, I mean, you don't know, but I did something very bad during the fight, and I feel that maybe if I can do anything to help, then I would be honored. I want to do it.
Okay, this is a terrible plan, but we don't have anything else. Let's do it.
Okay. So clear guilty because you offered yourself to make a sacrifice.
Cool.
Okay, so you're using your gadget. You're using up one of your gadget slots.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's Serenade is going to be interfacing with this, but you are kind of like connecting them with this frequency in Mrs. Smith's head. So roll plus superior to unleash your powers using gadgetry.
Okay. Okay, that's a 10.
Whoa, nice. You don't have any. Okay, wow, that's really good. So, Serenade, you connect to this frequency, and you said there that you thought it was like it's a piece of the hymn of the Dreaming Heaven Choir. Remind me again, what does the serenade sound?
Excuse me, I didn't get that.
What does the serenade sound, as in the serenade itself, to you?
It's music, like storm and lightning.
Yeah, this.
Sometimes it's more quiet, like wind, chime, like music, but it's hard to describe.
Well, this is a screech.
Is it?
Is what you connect. You connect to like this atonal buzzing.
Is that like the tuning knife? Because I remember that was like screech-like. That was a bit screech-like.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. I think. That's how that's how you react to the tuning knife. Yes, it is. It's what you get is that it's a frequency that sounds and feels ugly, and yeah, it doesn't sound like anything a choir dreaming of heaven would sing of. Instead, what you feel is when you connect to the frequencies, you kind of feel what's inside Mrs. Smith's head, where this frequency was lodged. And what you feel is nothing.
Like there's nobody there.
No, what it feels like is like her mind has been cleaned out.
Oh.
It's been scraped clean by this frequency.
Oh.
Because you can tell that this sound, it's almost like this sound came into her head and just ate up anything that's inside.
Wow. Okay, this is probably not reversible.
Let me check the supplement. Great effort. This is what the supplement says.
Yes, well, that's what we're doing. Great effort.
Yeah. Oh, actually, no. There's a great effort. There's no easy feat, which is the same, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, this is We'll cut back to Jamie as you kind of drink in this sound.
I think that I rush back into the safe room and say, I think this might be my fault, Agent Sunday.
Well, according to the records, this most definitely is your fault.
Yeah, I called in to get the code, and I fear that Serenade heard it.
The Serenade of Thorns.
Yeah, she came down just as I was just, checking it.
This has to be a provoke of some sort.
Have I made enough sacrifice to clear guilty yet?
Yeah. You're Jesus Christ. The amount of covering you're doing is
at some point
Commendable.
he will be caught in the lie, won't he? So,
Yes, yeah, this is
So if I clear guilty, then finally I don't get the -2. So this is superior, which is +3. So Jamie is nothing if not plausible.
okay, let's see.
That is 12. Here's a
Okay,
hook. Here's a line. Oh, look, a sinker.
okay, all right.
It's the obvious
So,
answer.
ooh. Okay, I'm gonna give you something. Um, damn dice. No, they're betraying me now. What's up with that? Yeah. She looks at you with an inscrutable expression, and she kind of disassembles her weird scanning smartphone gadget and says, "Well, we'll deal with the Serenade's actions when we find them."
She did look very upset. And I've been facing down Housemasters since I was 11.
I don't know why they'd be upset. They handed their former group a, what did the kids say? A wicked beating? Is that what the kids say?
I'm afraid I've no idea, Agent.
You're well on your way, Agent SULIT. Be that as it may, they weren't the one who called in the code. If I remember correctly, Agent SULIT, you were given standing orders to stand watch. Instead, you disobeyed your orders and used my name to procure information from Aegis, and inadvertently, through a ridiculous set of circumstances, released someone who was in my custody.
I think, in fairness, I didn't use your name. I told them where I was, and they may have assumed that I was acting under your orders. I wouldn't want you to suggest that, and I'm sure if you listen back to the recording, I never mentioned your name.
She almost smiles at that. Almost. Says like, "Oh, you'll go far in our field, Jamie. You'll go terribly far. Nevertheless, there'll have to be some repercussions for you and for your."
I absolutely, I mean, as Serenade's principal handler, I absolutely accept that that I should have been more careful in what I did with that code.
Yeah, she nods and says, "Well, whatever repercussions you'll be handed, Agent SULIT, far worse will have to be given to your friends. Now, to Varga Rocks, their superhero liaison will deal with them. To Kevin, to Agent Ryback, I had hope someone who with intelligence would convince him that running away would be futile."
So, just remind me exactly, why did you lock him up?
He shot me, for one thing. With
But with respect,
he
Agent, you don't look shot.
I think Agent Ryback overestimated just exactly what his trinkets could do to a fully trained agent of Aegis.
Because I have to say, you know, his trinkets, as you describe, in my experience, they're quite potent. I want to pierce the mask.
Okay, go ahead.
+2.
Your stats are ridiculous.
That's 10.
Oh my god.
So on a 10, ask 3 questions.
Wow.
What would it... How could I gain influence over her?
If you do as she says.
Okay. What does she intend to do now?
She's intending to find Mrs. Smith, and by proxy, Loki and Serenade.
This may be the same answer to the question I previously asked, but how could I get your character to go easy on Kevin and Serenade?
If they bring in Mrs. Smith, if they bring themselves in, and I think she actually says that to you, is like, look, whatever conspiracy theories Kevin's got cooking up in his mind, we understand. He's young, he's overworked, he's got a lot on his plate. We are always prepared to be lenient to minors, especially like yourself. If the two of them would come in quietly and bring in wherever they've taken Mrs. Smith, we'll be lenient in response.
Well, look, give me 48 hours to see if I can find them and maybe talk them round before you press the big red button.
24.
Okay.
Yeah, take influence over Agent Sunday. You're doing as she says. Okay, so how do we want to do this? Sorry, do you want to talk to Kevin about what you discovered, and then we'll kind of figure out how to get the three of you back together?
Yeah, I will tell Kevin what I have discovered. Now I have a move that's called the Red Ledger, but that is just to push my danger up, and I don't think it can go beyond 3 anyway.
You're gonna get a condition if you do that.
Oh, great! I need more conditions. Okay, no, my moves are not useful at that point, but I will look at him and say we might scrub. Well, we might try to undo something of that, but it might mean to attune her closer to the dreaming heavenly choirs hymn, which is not actually very good, but it is maybe better than being mindless at all.
So yeah, based on what Serenade has told me, do I think that might work, or
Depends. Do you trust Serenade?
yes?
You didn't see it, but you did. They did beat up.
I don't know anything about that.
Okay, fair enough. Yes.
And I have not yet. I have said I did a bad thing, but I have not said what it was.
You didn't say you did a bad thing. Okay.
So what is this? I shot an agent in Vegas.
Yes. Well, I have a kill code, so.
How is it that in this group, the two most superheroic straight and narrows is the posh boy and the posh British lad and the barista / space princess? I guess makes sense. I guess. Okay, so what does this look like when Serenade? What you're trying to do?
Well, I think I would need some kind of. No, I have to look. I'm sorry, I have to look up the word I want to use. Some kind of amplifier for what I'm trying to do to get into her mind and overwhelm that screech. Oh, and I will tell you about that. This reminds me of the tuning knife sounds that it made. Because you know about the tuning knife, right, Kevin?
Yeah.
So maybe there's, I don't know, maybe we can use your knowledge of this to disrupt this continuing screeching sound. It is very unpleasant.
Okay, I think how this is going to translate mechanically is, I think Kevin Serenade is doing the tuning, so to speak,
Yay.
and Kevin, I'm assuming like you probably have some sort of like gadget that can amplify stuff. So it's like spending a team to add a +1.
Yeah. Okay.
So it sounds like you're unleashing some sort of powers there, Serenade.
Oh, I can do that. That's with freak. That's with freak, right?
Yeah, and you don't have the condition though.
No, I
Thankfully.
did not. That was the one thing I did not take. And I've not got a 9, I've got an 11.
Jesus. Okay, so you remind me again, what's the effect of what you're trying to do?
What I want to do is to kind of overwhelm the screeching noise with some kind of music from the serenade to help soothe what's left of the mind, because there has to be something in that head, right? Because she's still breathing. And to try and attune that to her personal heartbeat kind of music thing.
Okay. Serenade, what's your fondest memory?
I think my fondest memory is actually it's at this, you remember when we were at that drag club rather recently, and I was sitting there with Kevin in the corner and watching Varga rock out and everybody being so happy. That's my fondest memory.
Yeah. So you're standing in that memory, and there's a thing in a suit in front of you. Let's get back to Jamie for a bit. Sorry, we'll come back to that. Jamie, assuming you know where to go.
Yes. Well, I'm guessing that they'll have gone to Loki's hideout, his sanctuary, his very own bat cave. But I am slightly suspicious that someone's going to track me there, so I'm going to drive somewhere else, and then I'm going to take public transport to near the hideout and use all the tradecraft I can summon to not be followed.
This sounds like unleashing your abilities, technically.
Yeah. It's not. I suppose I am acting on orders and relying on my training.
Yeah. So giving me.
So roll with soldier.
Yep.
That's 9.
9. Okay. So the effect can be unstable or temporary, or take a condition.
I think I've got to take a condition. I am slightly afraid, I think. Yes.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, whatever tracking is on you, you skirt through it, use your cool agent abilities or skills, and when you get to Loki's sanctuary, Loki, what does the scene look like?
So I think I've basically got like sort of helmets, which are like bicycle helmets, basically, that have been repurposed with different, like electrodes and stuff inside them. And I've got one attached to Serenade and one attached to Missy Smith, and they're sort of linked, and I've got a control panel between them to monitor what's going on. No.
Yeah, so Jamie, that's where you ended up. But that's what you see, Jamie, when you get into the sanctuary.
Oh, right. Sorry. Okay. And I kind of, because this is all terribly high tech, it's not my sphere of expertise. And I say, look, before you do anything, you might just want to hear what Agent Sunday told me.
What did she tell you?
And I think I'll recount then because I'm pretty confident that I pierced the mask a couple of times there, and I'm pretty confident that I've got to admit some stuff, and there may be something odd with her, but I don't think her motive's perverse. I don't think she's trying to do the dirty on anybody. She seems genuinely to want to find Mrs. Smith and help her. Or that's my impression.
Well, unless this works, I don't think I don't see anything else that Aegis can do to help her. There's some sort of signal which matches the tuning knife that Aegis has, which has scrubbed Mrs. Smith's brain. We're trying to and we're trying to nullify that signal to save what's left of her.
Well, shit. And I kind of go and I take Mrs. Smith by the shoulder and look into her eyes and say, Mrs. Smith, it's me, it's Jamie.
No response.
To convince myself that there's nobody at home. Okay, try it then.
All right, it's all up to her now. Tapping Serenade in the shoulder.
I guess this is a cue to cut back into the. I think your view of this memory is a bit foggy. Obviously, there should be people there, but it looks like there's nobody. It's just the theater, and standing on the stage is, as I mentioned, a thing in a suit.
What is it that makes a thing like and not like a person? What makes me think thing instead of person?
Okay, all right. Well, it's long and lanky. It's shaped like a person, but you can tell it towers over even someone like Varga, like by a good half a foot. Its proportions look ridiculous, look thin, lanky. It's wearing this like black, like Vivienne Westwood suit, but the proportions of that suit are stretched as well, and it's almost like you can't tell if it's wearing the suit or it's just its skin is this like nice tailored black suit with nice black tie, and you can see its face, well, lack thereof, its skin is this unseemly, sickly looking white. But it has no face. It's just like a head of like white, pale, it looks like rotted milk coming out of the neck of this suit. And this head turns to look at you, and you can see its mouth. It's opening its mouth, but it almost looks like whatever it is consistency of this like skin or chocolate. It's consistency of chocolate because when it's opening it up, it's like it's not a clean split. It looks like like liquid parting as it opens its mouth, and you can see that its mouth is full of thorns.
Ugh.
As it looks at you and says, "Poor child, poor bloodied child, dripping in red."
I think I will scream at it. Not like maybe even with my real voice, but mostly with what I control of the serenade. Like, because this was unleash my powers, so I will scream at it and I will scream storm.
The storm whips through the memory, and you can feel the memory buckle and shiver from your power, but this thing is still standing, even as the memory around it warps and like nearly fractures at the strength of your scream, but it stands there, just looking at you. You have all the power here, but I'm afraid that I'm long gone. Instead, this correspondence is a gift to you, poor child, flailing in the dark. Let us gift you with comprehension.
I do not want your gifts. Leave. Go. Whatever you are not wanted here or anywhere. And I don't know, I want to attack it.
Yeah, sure. You're in a dreamscape. How do
Yeah.
you attack it? What's your attack look like?
I think it looks like me rushing forward and throwing myself at that thing. I mean, I'm angry, I'm still afraid, and I really want to hit it.
You both have. I messed up which one, angry or afraid, is a minus to directly engage, but you have both, so that kind of doesn't matter. So yeah, +1, still good.
That's still good. So I will. Yeah, it's afraid. I will roll +1 to directly engage with the thing. Yeah, I've got an 8. No, I've got a 10. I've got a 10. I'm at +1. Ha!
Oh, nice.
Ha!
All right. Okay. What is this? Okay, so pick 2, I guess.
Okay. I want to. Can I take their presence in this dreamscape from them?
In this dreamscape, okay.
Yes. Yeah, well, in this place where we are. I want to drive it out.
Okay. Okay. So you attack, and I think you probably aim straight for the head or something. And
yeah.
And I think your whichever limb you're using gets caught in the in its skin, and it's cold and slimy, and it feels like it's staining your mind just to get in contact with it. And yeah, you want to drive out of this dreamscape. Okay, so I think your storm shatters the view, and then you can see it. Oh, you can see it smile, and you can see all its barbs and its ungainly rows of teeth as the dreamscape around you recombines into. I'm asking Alan this. When was the last time Mrs. Smith saw Michael Manners?
Oh gosh, it will have been before the concert, the London Calling concert.
Mm-hmm.
That evening, he'll have said goodbye to her before going to meet the others and go to that concert.
Yeah, and I think this scene reforms in this living room, and Freak's kind of gone out, has just left. I think in the comic book, you just see like a bit of their. This is he's not using his British format. He wasn't using his British form at that point, right?
He was.
Oh, he was.
Yeah. So you'll just see a sleeve of his blazer leaving the panel, I'd suggest.
Yeah, and I think it's just Mrs. Smith having tea, because she never used to drink tea, but Michael changed the culture around here. And yeah, you're standing in this living room, Serenade. You're free from the thing, but it's still there, standing in front of the fireplace, and you're kind of like you're sitting on the couch next to Mrs. Smith as she As she stands up, takes the tea, and goes like to her work desk. And the thing looks at you and says that, "What can you hope to accomplish, poor child? We have been here for so long."
All I want to accomplish is freedom, mine, and I look at Mrs. Smith, hers. And I will fight you.
You'll find that you'll be fighting against an ocean. We are those that flit in the dark. We are a force. We are a wave. We have drowned so many.
I'm trying to pierce the mask. What is it afraid of?
Roll first.
Sure. That's mundane. Oh, my mundane is horrible, I think. It's -1. It's not totally horrible.
It's not the worst.
It's not the worst, right? I've got a 6 though.
Okay, all right.
So I have to take a condition, right?
Yeah.
I'll take hopeless, and that yeah, I'll take hopeless because that kind of fits. But I still want an answer because I have a move for that.
Oh yes. All right. Hey, what is this thing afraid of? We're at the time. Let's take a break. Let's say 9 minutes. Let's come back at the half-hour mark. Then we'll cut back to 9 minutes. BRB. Okay, looks like everyone's back. It's gonna cut away from the dreamscape back to the other two. I gotta get the feeling that when Serenade screamed at the thing, they actually screamed IRL. So that's concerning.
All right, so I'm gonna like crouch down next to Serenade and sort of just I'm still like holding her shoulder, like trying to trying to keep her calm and just saying just speaking to her softly, like it's okay, you can do this, whatever's happening, you can get through this. We're just you're not alone. We're here for you.
That sounds like a comfort and support. Do you have influence over Serenade?
I don't know.
You do.
I do.
Everybody has, I think.
So we roll selected. That's a 6 and my mundane is 0.
Wow.
Team.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you still have 5 team from last week.
I will spend the team to boost that up to.
Well, it's Jamie who's gonna have to spend it.
Yeah, and I think his first instinct is to just tear the wires out of the back of the bicycle hat, I have to say, but he will give as much moral support as he can. He's whispering in the other ear, remember your training, Serenade, remember your training. You can do this.
Speaking of training, I think those words reach you, Serenade, just as the landscape around you, which was Mrs. Smith's living room, starts to change again. But instead of breaking away like it did, it starts to kind of like melt as it reforms, and this world kind of is melting around the two of you, you, Serenade, and this thing. But you hear those words. You hear Loki and Jamie cheering you on, and yeah, so those words hit you on a 7 to 9. You can either mark potential, clear a condition, or shift labels if you open up.
I would like to clear a condition. And I'm clearing hopeless again as quickly as I got it, because I'm not alone against this ocean. And I still want to know what it's afraid of.
Oh yeah, but you failed that roll, so let's see, where are you gonna end up? Oh, when was the first time the Serenade, the choir? What was your first mission?
Good question. First mission, I think I went with some. No, I was sent to a person's home. I don't know, a child. I guess I wasn't very. I had the Serenade with me, and I had some training, and they told me go in there, and there is this person. He is bad. He is making the wrong sort of sounds and noises, and take away his voice. So I went in there, and there was this person. He was just a huge guy. He wasn't really aggressive. He was like, "Oh, what are you doing here, little kid? Are you lost? You're in my house. What are you doing? Why are you so strange?" And then I attacked him, and I took his voice and everything else, because that's what I had been trained to do.
Yeah, so
and he was just some. I don't even know what was the deal with him or anything.
Yeah, I think that's how.
But he had a cat though that looked at me like it was angry or disappointed, like it was disappointed, like really judgmental, like cats. You know how cats can look at people.
Yeah, I think that's what when the world around you stop melting and reforms itself, you're back at that room again, and there's that man. His voice is clearly gone. That cat looking at you, and you hear the thing still there with you, and you hear it go, "You hold so much fear, so much pain. You can hear it salivating at that. You carry so much history. Such wounds, scars. You, poor child, are a feast.
I'm not your feast. I will starve you.
That's the answer to the question. They're afraid of going hungry.
Hmm? Great. Okay. So.
I think when you say that, it just laughs, but its laughing sounds like a cough, like a You and countless others have tried. So many have fed us. You're a pebble in a storm, poor child.
Sometimes a pebble can stop a machine placed at the right point.
We are not a machine. We are inevitable.
Maybe, but I will try.
Do your best. What do you do?
I need to get this thing out of there, right? So I will try to speak like loud, and I will say, Kevin, I really need this amplification now.
So yeah, that rings out to the IRL world.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and twist the dial on my control console.
I'm gonna say that's another +1 to whatever Serenade's gonna do. But let me actually bring down the team. It should be a 3 team. Yeah.
If there's any sign of distress from Serenade, I'm going to pull the plug.
Okay.
You're saying that in character as well?
I'm telling you, if you're ramping this up to 11, if she shows any sign of distress, or indeed if Mrs. Smith does, I'm pulling the plug.
Fair.
Okay, so this amplification, you feel it, Serenade?
Good. What I'm doing now is I am trying not to use rage or fear or anything like that, because it's just told me that that is what it feeds on. What I'm trying is to reach for calmness, a light breeze, sort of peace. I haven't known much of that, true, but there were moments when I was at the mountaintop and there was no one around and I just felt the wind in my hair and everything was just so. And I want to channel that. But I need the amp to make it loud enough and clear enough.
Okay, that amounts to a +1 to your roll.
Yes,
Sorry.
that's nice. I like a +1 to my roll.
Yeah, because I guess you're directly engaging this thing.
I think either that or I'm unleashing my power. I'm not sure.
Okay, yes. I think you're not really fighting. So yeah, the effect is you want to get it out. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Unleashing makes sense. So it's gonna be a +3.
Yes. Okay. Please, dear dice. Oh yeah, I knew that would happen.
Wow. Mark potential. Wow.
Yeah. Hooray.
Wow.
I got potential. Wow. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Wow. I was rooting for you.
I guess I hadn't gotten enough of peace.
Yes, I think you try peace and
maybe the serenade resists me. That could happen. That's a possibility. I mean, the serenade isn't exactly under my control.
Yeah. Oh, what does that?
It's not a thing of peace, really.
No, and yeah. In fact, I think that's why it fails, because you try to flood your mind and your what you're aiming against this thing with peace, and it can't, because have you ever known peace? Like, have you really known peace? So instead, you have an idea of what peace could be like, but I think because of the way you've lived your life with the serenade, it's twisted. It's not. It feels like you were described what peace is like, but you've never really felt it. I think you take a condition because you came to this realization that
I think that is insecure.
yeah. Yeah, and I think you try this and the world stops. I say, like, the cat stops in mid jump, and you feel the world still, and you thought you'd control the dreamscape and bring it to someplace peaceful, but no, you've overreached yourself. And this thing says, "We can give you peace. We can give you comfort. All we feed on is your hurts, your pains. We can take it away from you if you wish. You don't have to keep suffering. You don't have to keep living like this. Just give in."
I am very sorely tempted to do that at this moment. It sounds so nice, to be rid of.
Yeah,
Doubts.
it's a nice deal. Yeah, maybe these suits aren't so bad. Yeah,
I know they are bad, but still, I don't know. I think what happens though might be that I start kind of convulsing, because that is antithetical to the serenade, to just give up.
yeah, IRL. Yeah, yes. Jamie and Loki, you'll see.
Plug.
Yeah, machine shuts down. I think whatever tension you're on, Serenade kind of slumps because you're not in contact with that frequency anymore. You're not in contact with that thing anymore. And how are you feeling, Serenade?
Empty, hollowed out, afraid and angry, yes, but insecure mostly. Like,
What was it? What was it like, Serenade? Tell us all about it.
it was this thing in this suit. It was so powerful. I could not get it out.
But you did so well. You were there. You wrestled it. We heard you struggling with it.
And to no avail. It feeds on the struggling.
But that's incredible news. That's such useful information.
I try to fight it with peace and quiet, but there is none of that in my mind. None. I'm just a weapon.
No, you're not just a weapon, Serenade. There's more to you than that. You've just demonstrated. A weapon would simply not have tried to sacrifice themselves in that way. You took a risk there.
I think that's comfort and support.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting with my answer until you've rolled.
Okay.
So I know how to react.
Yeah. You have a minus 2 because you have either angry or afraid.
So I am. So it will be +0.
Well, do you have influence over Serenade? Yeah, you do.
Oh, I do. Yes, I
Plus
do.
one.
Okay, so +1. 8.
Oh.
So on a hit, they hear you as they mark potential, clear a condition, or shift labels if they open up to you.
I think I will clear a condition because that's really useful. I think I will stop being so angry, actually, because, well, I'm still emotionally not really feeling really aggressive. Um, hmm. It's, I've been told that I would never really be human. You think that's true?
It's bollocks.
I take Serenade's hand in mine and feel for a pulse.
It's probably pretty high pulse frequency. They're still rather upset with the whole situation. It's getting down though.
Feels like a heartbeat. You're not a machine, no matter what they told you.
Well, thank you, I guess. But that thing, it said it was everywhere. They were a wave, or they existed between things. It was scary. That was definitely not human.
Between things, like I'm gonna try and analyze that signal a bit more. See.
Okay. That's an assess, I think.
Yeah.
Cool.
Roll. Okay, so that's 11.
Wow. All right. Ask. Well. Oh, okay. Ask 2.
Okay. So, mm, okay, what here is the biggest threat? I think is what I'm trying to find out. So
In this world or in this story or in this... I think when you scan the signal, yeah, it's when you scan it more thoroughly. Yeah, there's a reason why it feels queasy and weird because it didn't come from this dimension. Like it feels wrong because it never existed in this world. Whatever combination of atoms or beats or whatever the hell frequencies are made of, it didn't come from this plane of existence, let alone this world. And I think because you're smart, you probably have like access to like, I don't know, some sort of records on interdimensional like sort of records and whatnot. Probably started hoarding that after what happened with Freak. I'm just expanding the fiction a bit, but I think if you cross reference to those records, you won't find where this came from. It's like what Serenade said. It exists in between. It's not from any dimension. It's from the cracks, the little nooks and crannies in between each dimension. And yeah, that's how big the danger is. I'm interpreting the question liberally, but yeah.
what here can I use to?
Oh, I'll add another thing. What here is the biggest threat or the greatest? Wait, Is that their biggest threat or in the greatest danger?
It was the biggest threat I asked. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So you said like, yeah, this frequency couldn't be traced anywhere. I think if you check like the diagnostics of like your suit, you did detect a trace of that frequency on Agent Sunday.
What here can I use to block I'm trying to think what the best to block this signal?
Nothing on your place. Like, it's going to take a lot of effort, a lot of expenditure to block this signal while you still have Mrs. Smith with you. You're a bit outmatched right now. You might need, I don't know, some sort of terrorist organization that worships a creation of yours. I don't know. You might need something like that. I don't know. You need more resources.
Training montage to increase scale.
Increase your tier so you can contend with this tier 5 sort of. It's a long-term. It's a bunch of long-term projects, is what it is.
Could you make something to detect it? If you can't tune it out, it would be really good to be able to spot it when it happens.
Can probably tune the D3 system to specifically seek this frequency.
Yeah, that you can do that fine. You're smart.
Serenade might detect it too, now that I know what it looks like. It said that it feeds on people's pain. I believe that things that alleviate pain might starve it, and that is what they are afraid of.
That would fit with your description of you saw it in the room with Mrs. Smith when Michael Manners left. She will have been worried or frightened for him. And so it's feeding on all those memories.
You know, it is in a way very ironic that the Dreaming Heavenly Choir wants actually to attain a state of perfect bliss within the hymn of rapture. So that would starve these creatures. It would also take everything else away from people in the hymn. They are, to my mind, they are natural enemies.
We could be brainwashed in order to have nothing worth feeding them with.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm for a third option.
So am I.
Jamie, did you tell them about Mrs. Agent Sunday's ultimatum?
I was just waiting for an appropriate break in that scene, I think, where there's that kind of sense of, well, we've done all we can. To kind of approach this by saying, look, you know, you've done all you can to help Mrs. Smith here. Maybe we should think about taking it back to Aegis.
Well, here's the thing.
Can't care for her here.
Agent Sunday had the same had traces of the same signal.
Yeah, I'm not saying take her back to Sunday necessarily. Let's just take her back to Aegis HQ. Hand her over to Aegis. So and all the paperwork will show her handed over. You know, use the bureaucracy against them. If you genuinely believe that Sunday is part of some conspiracy, then let's make this a very public kind of circumstance. unless you think all of Aegis is corrupt.
I do not believe all of Aegis is corrupt, but I also do not believe we can readily tell those who are and those who are not.
Yeah, that's the problem. We don't know who we can trust
Well,
in Aegis.
but you know, if you think that the smell of that noise, that tune, that whatever it is, if you could detect that, then we could screen some people.
That could work.
I mean, what about Agent Sarah? You know, she's Melkor trusts her, or Valga trusts her. I'm still not certain if I know that they're the same.
I don't think you don't, because we made it clear last session.
So
they are the same. I saw Varga turn into Melkor.
What? Well, spoiler alert. Okay.
You are aware where you've been made aware as my primary handler that I have. There is a code that the Dreaming Heavenly Choir may use to activate my more advanced fighting skills.
Gee whiz, information download. Okay.
And
okay.
the Aria of Blades knew it and used it.
Okay. Can we just put that on the shelf for a moment?
I thought you knew that.
I didn't know all of that. Serenade.
That is very negligent.
Debrief.
That is very negligent. As my primary handler, you should have been made aware.
I should have been made aware. You're quite right. What can I tell you?
Well, I am sorry that I did not tell you earlier. I had hoped those circumstances would not present themselves.
Well, thank you for telling me now.
I trust you.
I'm honored that you trust me, and I'll wrap as much sincerity behind that as I can, because I think I probably do feel honored.
I do intend it to as an honor. I don't trust many. I mean, obviously trust Kevin.
Obviously, yeah. What if we screened Agent Sarah and handed Mrs. Smith to her?
I'm just trying to remember who Agent Sarah is.
She's Melkor's handler. She had coffee with him last week. She mentioned she was getting a promotion, but I don't think the characters know that she was getting a promotion thanks to Howl.
Yeah.
You know a lot of people in Aegis you can trust. Like, come on. What about Agent Romero? I'm just saying.
I do not know that I can trust her.
True. She did tell Kevin to lighten up in front of you.
Well, if look, screen Agent Sarah, if she's clean, then she's got some seniority. Then at least we could hand Mrs. Smith to her in some kind of public way, meet her in the front foyer of bloody Aegis HQ. A very public handover. If she's not clean, then we try Agent Romero.
I think there might be a problem with me going into the front foyer of Aegis headquarters right now.
Well, I did have a little bit of a conversation with Sunday. I think that if we go in, just go in quietly, I think you'll be okay.
But they will not trust us. They will know, like Agent Sunday will know that we know things. Well, I saw that creature in the vision and it lived, and I believe that it will tell others about what has happened.
Well, look, it's a risk, isn't it? we can either trust Aegis as an organization, or you two have to go on the run.
I'm not very good at trusting organizations.
So let's trust individuals.
I trust you, and I trust Kevin, and I trust Balcor Varga.
And if Kevin's machine can show either Sarah or Famero are clean, then I trust them.
But we would have to inform them about the threat.
And they have to work within Aegis's protocols.
Yeah, but if you put yourself outside those protocols, that organization is going to come down on you like a ton of bricks. Do you want to be on the most wanted list?
Not particularly.
That does not seem advisable.
Okay, I need a decision on what you all are planning to do here.
I've made my pitch.
Okay.
I'm looking at Kevin. What do you think? You know the society better than I do.
We need to try. We need to try and not be. We need to try and not be on the authorities' radar just yet. So, I say we go with Jamie's plan, and if it doesn't work out, then we'll just improvise from there.
I believe that might work, yes.
Okay. I think we'll cut from this to this plan happening. So Jamie, run us through again what you plan to do.
Well, first of all, we need to contact Agent Sarah and have Jamie have Kevin run his little kind of scanner across her, preferably without her knowing.
I think you can contact her, but I don't know if the scanner is gonna work. Like if it's gonna. Well, we did say frequency. I did say that. It's part of the fiction. Frequency. I think she's a bit bemused. Who's calling her specifically? Kevin, right? Or you?
I think probably me.
I think when you call her, she's a bit bemused. We face cast her as Kathy Bates, by the way, and current Kathy Bates. Yeah, she's like, Agent Sulit. I don't believe we've ever had an interaction, have we? Why? Why this call?
No, Agent, we haven't. But I've heard about you from Varga Rocks. And I just wondered if, I've now been on, I've had a couple of engagements with Varga, and I wondered if you wanted any feedback. Maybe we should meet for a cup of coffee or something.
And she kind of like laughs and is like, "Oh, I've heard a lot about you, Agent Sulit. Agent Hyde was around these parts lately and was chatting about this top prospect who's feeling his oats around Aegis quite a bit. And lucky you actually managed to reach me before I take up a new office. Again, Agent Hyde's quite reliable at that.
I don't want to. I don't want to force your hand or anything. I was just an offer. It's just an offer, Agent.
Well, I'll keep it in mind. I wouldn't say no to any enterprising like young people trying to build contacts and whatnot. I know what the grind's like.
Well, there's a Starbucks opposite Aegis HQ at, say, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
10 o'clock sounds fab.
So then the plan is that Kevin, in disguise, is close enough to get a reading on her while she's having coffee with me.
I think what I kind of should have made it more clear in the conversation is that she had a promotion recently, thanks to Howl Division.
I appreciate that, but I
But
still
you do it. Okay, cool.
it's worth checking her over.
Okay. Jesus, all this conviction. Okay. Oh, we have time. We can do this. All right, so let's cut straight to that Starbucks. I want to know what Kevin and Serenade's disguises are. Are they incognito or are they adorably incognito? Okay, it doesn't have to be those two. Okay, I guess.
I believe that the usual disguise for a superhero is to wear a baseball cap and dark sunglasses, and maybe a hoodie. So unless somebody stops me, I will adopt that.
Okay. Okay, and Kevin, same? Or-
I mean, Kevin wasn't trying to be inconspicuous particularly last time, so this time I think maybe he's, I don't know, changed his hairstyle. Maybe actually used some gel or something to tidy his hair up, and is wearing glasses. And just doing little things to change his profile of it.
Yeah, so Agent Sarah meets up with you.
And
Amy?
that's a very simple montage. I think it's me saying how impressed I've been with the way that Varga has behaved on a couple of missions, and I if I can be of any further help, I'd happily do that. Long enough for some lights to go green or red.
I think part of what she says back is like, yeah, she's glad that Varga is doing quite well. She is quite curious how you're so invested on her, but she's not gonna countenance that. And the doyless answer to where Varga is that Ferret's not here.
I'm kind of wondering whether Melkor is serving.
I think it's probably Enid who's there, maybe covering for Melkor. Who knows? Obviously, none of you know who Enid is, so none of you even need to bother her. She's just there.
So we montage that, and then I think we try and montage a similar one with Fomero, and whoever's got the fewest red dots on the meter is the one we trust.
Okay, I'll just tell you straight up: no dots on Fomero, a lot on Sarah.
I'm trying to remember, Kevin. You have a relationship with Fomero, don't you?
Yep.
Job's a good one then.
So do I, actually. She's my handler, I guess, kind of.
Well, then that would seem to be the perfect thing. Hand Mrs. Smith to her and, come in from the cold.
Okay.
So do you, Kevin, contact Agent Fomero?
Yeah.
I think she sounds, well, she always sounds tired, I guess, when she talks. Just like, are you ready to come in, Kevin? This is ridiculous.
Only if you handle it.
Kevin, I don't know if you're in a position to make the terms. A lot of people really want Millie back. And people have been asking questions. Right now, the official explanation is, well, Agent Sunday's nailed you to the post. But she's willing to be lenient.
If I'm handing Mrs. Smith over, I want to know that she's in good hands.
Kevin, what's
And-
wrong with Mrs. Smith? With Millie, what's wrong with her? What's happening?
There is some sort of entity manifests as a signal frequency originating from the void space between dimensions. It has affected Mrs. Smith and locked her in a catatonic state, which I can't break her from. I have detected the same signature from Agent Sunday and from Agent Sarah. I don't know who else, but I know that you're not infected.
Let me look at the time. I'm interested in abstracting to this in a role. I think what happens is you probably expect Agent Firmer to be like, what the fuck? But I've been having a lot of thoughts lately. Do you remember that assignment I had with the tuning knife?
Yes.
At the time, I didn't question it because no one questions Howl Division around here. But it seemed ludicrous to pluck out an artifact like that, something that powerful that should be left under lock and key, and just have it out in the open. The mission directive was vague at best, which is keep it out in the open for as long as possible. What does that even mean? And of course, I tried to ask, and it's all classified. It's all classified. It's all under Howl's big plan. I'm beginning to think there wasn't any plan with the knife. Call me paranoid, but that's a very valuable thing that we know multiple groups have been after all this time. I'm beginning to think the target wasn't the knife, but the target was me. Or at least, I don't know, the knife was bait and I was there in the crosshairs.
That's the same conclusion I've come to.
Out of character, really?
Probably. I mean, he has the brain.
Yeah, you're the brain, yeah. I think... All right, Kevin. Let's... I'll follow your lead on this.
All right.
Yeah. I think... Yeah. We're not gonna focus on this like specifically. Just and then I think we can montage it out a bit, and then give the two of our trio here an out. I think the exchange probably goes as expected. I think you hand over to Agent Fomero, who immediately kind of like spirits Mrs. Smith to the infirmary, agent infirmary with people she trusts. The official story that comes out from the investigating agent on the case, which is Agent Sunday, is that Mrs. Smith was hit by some sort of sonic weapon by the Dreaming Heaven Choir that slowly kind of sapped away her consciousness before she it sapped away as soon as she got into the panic room. That's the official story that comes out. And I think Agent Sunday is going to be good to Jamie's word. What you get is like an ankle bracelet and some tracking. Just put on you for 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 probation. And yeah, I think I'll tell you. I'll tell you what I kind of came up with. I think what's gonna happen to Serenade and Jamie. Actually, let's put you on one last scene together, the three of you, so you can kind of like figure out what you're doing. I think I want to know what Serenade wants to do. It feels like they've got some soul searching to do, and I know that Jamie is gonna be called away to some sort of mission. I think if you want to give a thought on what kind of mission that'll be, because you spend so much time schmoozing people and like trying to show that you're a team player, that someone must have something for you.
Yeah, exactly. But I think for me the plan is, from Jamie's point of view now, we need to just let this go quiet for a while. I'm still on the inside and I think they trust me. Let's just see how things develop. And and then we go our separate ways for a while, so they begin to think that we've processed it and moved on. And then if we need to get our heads back together, we can do.
Okay. Is that what you said to the two of them?
Yeah.
I do not know what I want to do, but I think I want to go somewhere quiet for a while.
I think actually what you get is you get. I think this was something that was left for you that you probably forgot because you were trying to make yourself. But I mean, your teacher, she's is it she her your teacher?
Yeah, it's a she.
Yeah.
She had
I think
blossomed. She.
Yeah, she would have gone without leaving you way to find her, or maybe you can just try and find her.
That's a good idea, because she knows a lot about the whole hymn thing, and maybe she knows about other things too. And maybe she also knows how to find peace and inner harmony. This seems to be something that I might need.
Yeah, I think you're saying kind of like a version of that to the other two as well.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm saying. Like,
cool.
I have to go and find some kind of inner harmony. But we will keep in contact.
And we might even have Kevin set up what amounts to a digital Dropbox that we can securely communicate via. Because certainly I don't want to stay in touch using the departmental phone.
That is true. I was thinking something along the same lines, actually.
Oh, yeah, Kevin can totally do that. So yeah, what are your last words before we kind of go to like what's the last thing we see from each of us? What do you last say to each other before y'all have to break away?
I mean, I've got a speech bubble, which is something like, no matter what happens, we have to trust one another.
This is a big problem. So I'm going to have to look for unorthodox solutions. And I'm going to need you to trust me.
Yeah.
I hope we will see each other again. I trust both of you. And if you need me, leave a message. I will come. I promise.
And Serenade, if you get in trouble, this is the address of my cousin Beth.
Thank you. I hope that I will not get in trouble.
Okay, so
They will totally get in trouble.
yeah, you totally will. We'll find out all about that in July. Yeah, so yeah, let's have one final image from each of you. Let's go with Jamie. What's the last we see of Agent Sulit for now?
Oh, I think Sulit is in his Aston Martin driving away with the car phone, and there's a kind of squawky message coming out, and he's saying, "Okay, Sunday, on my way."
Nice. Serenade. Last we see you for now.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the mountains. It's probably Colorado or something. They look a bit worse for wear, actually. Like the clothing has seen better days, and they might have been in a fight, but well, you can see them ascending to some sort of little grove or where a hut is, and there are dragons flying, not real life-size Game of Thrones dragons, but kites. Kites is the right word. Sorry, it's the same word in German. I forget. No, there are kites flying in the wind, colorful. And they're dancing, and there are some little bells attached to them, so they are like wind chimes and kites at the same time. And in front of the house, there is a woman standing, and she looks fit, I guess, Asian. And she looks like she has been expecting Serenade of Thorns.
Yeah, I think she gives you a smile, a warm smile, you know, like a very pleasant, "I've missed you" sort of smile. And Loki, how are you doing, bud?
So I think Loki has used a workaround to try and either this is after his probation, or he's found a workaround for the tracker so that they can't trace where he goes. But he's following the mask's equivalent of Google Maps, and the address that he has arrived at is the address that Harmonia gave him in the previous session. And he's just standing outside the building, takes a deep breath, and then resolves himself and heads inside.
All right, we'll find out what's inside.
Can I add a panel at the end of that?
Oh, go on.
Which is then there's an inset to that panel where he's knocking on the door, and it's the Aegis monitoring unit who are saying, "Yeah, he hasn't moved all day."
Fab. All right, okay. Let's do end of session stuff before we say goodbye for a bit for some folks. We'll find out what's inside, what Loki finds next week. Yeah, let's do end of session. So we're all pros at this now. Each of you will choose one. Go closer to the team. Go into an image of yourself and go away from the team. We'll start with Jamie.
Closer to the team this time. I think the fact that Serenade told me she trusted me was a big thing. So yeah, I have grown closer to the team. Give influence to that character and clear a condition or mark potential. I
will say, when you come back, you're not going to have any of those conditions. So don't worry about clearing.
Cynically, I'll mark potential then, and give. Where's she gone? There she is. Serenade. Oh, Serenade already has influence on me.
So label shifting time.
Okay, I'm shifting yours. Let's see. I think I want to really get your danger up, because you need to face danger in the coming storm.
I always assume that I'm going to soldier my way through danger.
Yeah, maybe, but still. And I think I'll take your superior down because you were a bit more humble now than you were at the beginning.
I think that's fair. So superior from 3 to 2, and danger from -2 to -1. Okay.
Oh, that reminds me. I should have changed your labels because you gave Aegis influence when you used that soldier.
I did. I've put influence down the bottom. Oh no, I haven't. Sorry, I've given
No,
Aegis.
you know, Aegis always has influence over you.
Oh right. Okay.
That's how the soldier works. So when it says give you influence, that basically means I have to shift your labels.
Okay.
Shift your mundane down and your danger up.
Okay.
Less touchy-feely, more worky here.
Okay.
Cool. Loki.
I think I also grew closer to the team.
I don't see how anyone didn't grow closer to the team. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's a toss-up actually between Serenade and Sulit. I'm gonna go with Sulit because he got me out of the holding cell and trusted me.
Yeah, it took him 2 goes though. He thought very hard about it.
And I'm not going to clear a condition next session, am I?
No, yeah, you're back here. And we immediately have to figure out like what you found in that school anyway. So yeah, you're keeping that unless you want to clear it.
I will mark potential as well.
We really should have kept track of all the advances you've taken throughout this year.
I've been keeping track.
Oh, okay, cool.
They're at the bottom there.
Oh, I see. Yeah, there they are.
I haven't spent the advance I got last time yet.
Okay.
I believe I also have my own end of session.
Oh
thing.
yes. Yeah. Did you take steps to make amends for your shame?
Well, I'm standing outside this building, so I don't know if that's taking steps to make amends or.
It's a step. I'll give it to you. Sure. Yeah, take another potential.
Cool.
All right. Serenade.
I think I also grew closer to the team. I think because I actually trusted Kevin, because I was really like, no, Kevin isn't a bad guy. That's the one I grew closer to.
Oh.
So.
Oh yeah. He totally had influence on you.
Yeah, he does. Everyone does.
So I get to shift your labels then? Is that
yes.
Okay. Let me just see. I'm going to shift your danger down and your savior up.
Cool. And I'm totally taking potential.
Nice. All right, I think that's it. I'm gonna stop this broadcast. As always, y'all been fantastic. Anyone who's watched this far, Gauntlet, check all that. We'll be back next week with part 5 of this story. Sadly, won't be seeing Alan. We might be seeing Sabine. Who knows how the waitlist goes? We'll have some folks returning to Prospect City, so that's gonna be cool. Watch out for that. Anyway, I'm gonna stop the broadcast and we can talk and be all feeling whatnot. So, all right.